Josh, let's look at some polling data, and there's no other way to put it. These are disastrous figures for the Democrats. Their favorability rating has dropped to a record low, according to CNN polling. CNN, folks, among the American public overall, the Dems' favorability rating is at just 29%. And what's interesting, Josh, is that even among Democrat voters, there is just great dissatisfaction. The approval rating there is low, and the majority believe the party's headed in the wrong direction.
Well, there's multiple reasons for thinking that, right? I mean, first of all, just look at the fact that this party just simply cannot give up on its cultural militants. They cannot give up on their woke culture war they have been waging against the American people for years and years, arguably decades now. We saw that just at Trump's joint presidential address to the Congress about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago or so. They literally couldn't be bothered to get off their butts to applaud for Peyton McNabb, this high school girl who suffered traumatic brain injury because of a biological male. They couldn't be bothered to get off their butts to applaud for the family of Lake and Riley, who was tragically murdered by an illegal alien who had no business whatsoever being in the United States. They're consistently taking radical positions. I mean, the transgender sports issue was literally an 80-20 issue. And even when you have someone like Gavin Newsom, who we obviously should not believe already says, but when he's trying to stake out, at least rhetorically, purportedly, a moderate stance there, he is immediately shot down by party elites there. By the way, Rita, they're also tearing apart the seams. I mean, look at this at the CR that just passed the Congress this past Friday there. I mean, Chuck Schumer leading a brigade of 9 Democrats voting alongside Senate Republicans there. He's being chewed out by Hakeem Jeffries in the U.S. House there. I mean, even these Democratic leaders from the same state, heck, from the same borough, they're both from Brooklyn. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are both Brooklyn boys, and they're openly fighting on the national stage there to shut down the government, to not shut it down. So they're not on the same page. They're taking radically unpopular issues. The party's a veritable dumpster fire, frankly, and they have no one to blame for this whatsoever other than themselves.
And there's more bad news for lefties everywhere, including Bill Maher, who seems to think that Trump voters are all having massive amounts of regret at the moment. Watch this exchange between him and Batia Unga-Sargon, who will be on the program later in the week. This just shows you how divorced from reality so many lefties are, even supposedly sensible ones like Bill Maher.
I'm just wondering what you think now. We're approaching 2 months in. I mean, you must have a feeling in your gut. Look me in the eye and tell me you don't, that this is really going badly and I shouldn't have thrown my lot in with this team.
Oh, no, I feel the opposite.
All right.
But Josh, let's look at the data that's just come out earlier today from NBC News. 3 months into his second term, President Trump has hit his highest ever approval rating. And Josh, more Americans say the country is in the right track than at any other point in the last 21 years, since 2004. And that is incredible given the relentless negative media.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. So in some polling, Trump's approval rating has slipped at least a little bit relative to his highs on January 20th. But Rita, the thing that you have to bear in mind here is that Donald Trump started the presidency with what for contemporary American politics is actually like sky high approval ratings there. He basically had the highest approval rating on day one of his presidency that he had for his entire term there. Some current polls show that he has maintained that level of support. Some show that it slipped a little bit, but it's still actually very, very high relative to the past few presidents there. I mean, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, these were not particularly highly approved presidencies. So even relatively speaking there, Donald Trump is completely swimming in high waters here. Then you compare it to the Democratic Party approval rating that you and I were just talking about. I mean, Donald Trump is at this point orders of magnitude more popular than the Democratic Party. And there's a reason for that, Rita, which is that his policies are common sense policies. I mean, over the weekend, the big spat here in the United States was this separation of power showdown between Donald Trump and this puny little judge in Washington, D.C., purporting to say that you cannot deport these Tren de Aragua horrific transnational criminal gangbangers and these rapists and murderers and thugs there. Guess what? That's popular. Deporting thugs, deporting gangbangers, rapists, murderers, that happens to be actually very popular with the American people. Deporting someone like Mahmoud Khalil at Columbia University, someone who is here on a green card, who's not even a U.S. citizen, who's openly espousing the Hamas-Hezbollah party line, deporting him, that's popular. So the Democrats, again, whether it's the transgender issue, whether it's this, they just continue to take unpopular positions. Donald Trump just does the commonsensical thing because he has this whole MAGA coalition this coalition of the common sense. It's not an ideologically right-wing coalition. It's just a coalition that wants to do the simple median American sentiment there. And that's why he's so popular right now.